Three friends: Mark, the charismatic leader, David, the tech whiz, and Liam, the skeptic. Together, they were urban explorers, their YouTube channel dedicated to venturing into forgotten places. Abandoned buildings, haunted forests, forgotten tunnels, they craved the thrill of the unknown. Their videos, filled with shaky footage and nervous laughter, had garnered a dedicated following. Viewers lived vicariously through their adventures, experiencing the adrenaline rush from the safety of their screens. Each new exploration brought a surge in subscribers. The more dangerous, the better. They were addicted to the rush, the fear a delicious spice. They were convinced they were invincible. Until Hawthorne. Hawthorne Asylum. An infamous name whispered in hushed tones. An abandoned psychiatric hospital shrouded in darkness. It had been shut down in 1984 under mysterious circumstances. Rumors swirled online. Unexplained deaths, unethical experiments, patients vanishing without a trace. Local legend claimed the building was cursed, haunted by its tormented souls. Mark stumbled upon it while scouring the internet for their next big adventure. A tip from an anonymous follower: Room 6. The message was simple, chilling. Room 6 wasn't empty. The perfect recipe for their most terrifying video yet. The iron gates of Hawthorne Asylum loomed before them, twisted and rusted, as if the building itself was trying to keep them out. They parked a distance away, the silence around the asylum unsettling. Heavy, oppressive. The air grew colder as they approached. The only sound, their footsteps crunching on the dead leaves littering the overgrown path. A shiver ran down Liam's spine. He couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. David, ever the pragmatist, dismissed it as nerves. Mark, however, grinned. This was the good stuff, the fear they thrived on. He raised his camera, capturing the dilapidated facade. "Ready, guys?" His voice echoed in the stillness, a jarring intrusion. The asylum's interior was a nightmare of decay and neglect. Dust-choked air hung heavy, thick with the scent of mildew and something else, something faintly metallic. They navigated through crumbling corridors, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. Walls were defaced with strange symbols and frantic scratch marks, a testament to the suffering that had unfolded within these walls. After what felt like hours, they found it, at the end of a hallway, colder than the rest. Room 6, a heavy metal door, reinforced, unlike the others. A single word was scrawled on it in faded red paint: leave. Liam felt a chill. This was wrong. Even Mark seemed hesitant. But they had come too far to turn back. Section 5. A glimpse of horror. David, his hands shaking slightly, pointed his camera at the door. Mark gave a nervous laugh, trying to break the tension. "All right, Room 6, he whispered, his bravado faltering for a moment. "Let's see what you're hiding." He gripped the handle. It was ice cold, sending a jolt up his arm. With a groan, the door creaked open. The room was deceptively normal. A single cot, a rusted bedside table, peeling paint. Almost disappointingly ordinary. And then it moved. A flicker of movement in the far corner, barely perceptible. A shape coalescing from the shadows. Twisted, grotesque, wrong. It rose, its form shifting, and turned towards them. A silent scream escaped Liam's lips. Section 6, hunted by shadows. Panic seized them. Mark, dropping his camera, stumbled back. David, paralyzed with fear, could only stare as the creature lunged. Liam, adrenaline surging through him, grabbed David's arm and they ran. They didn't look back. The creature's guttural growl echoed behind them, spurring them on. The asylum became a labyrinth, corridors twisting and turning, leading them in circles. The air grew thick with the stench of decay and something else, something ancient and evil. The sound of their pursuers' heavy footsteps pounded behind them, relentless, drawing closer. They were hunted. Section 7. Lost and alone. They became separated in the chaos. Liam, his chest heaving, found himself alone in a room filled with rusted medical equipment. He could hear David shouting his name in the distance, his voice cut off by a terrifying shriek. The creature, it had him. Liam wanted to run, to help, but his legs wouldn't obey. He was trapped. Then silence. A silence more terrifying than the chase. Liam, his body trembling, forced himself to move. He had to escape. Had to tell the world what happened. He picked up David's dropped camera, the lens cracked, but the red recording light still blinking. "Mark? David?" His voice was a choked whisper. Only the silence answered. Section 8. The final message. Liam stumbled on, each step an act of sheer will. He caught glimpses of movement, shadows shifting at the edge of his vision, the creature toying with him. But he couldn't give up. He had to warn everyone. He reached a room bathed in moonlight streaming through a broken window, and there, propped against the wall, was Mark, or what was left of him. Liam retched, bile rising in his throat. He lifted the camera, his hand shaking so violently the image bounced. "It's real," he whispered, his voice raw with terror. "Room 6, it wasn't empty. Don't come here." A shadow fell over him. Liam turned, his eyes wide with fear. The last image the camera captured was the creature's grotesque form, filling the frame. Then, only static. Section 9. An empty field. The footage went viral, millions of views. Comments flooded in, a mixture of horror, disbelief, and morbid fascination. Search parties descended on Hawthorne Asylum, desperate to find any trace of the missing men. But they found nothing. The building stood empty, silent, as if it had never been anything more than an abandoned shell. Hawthorne Asylum was demolished a year later. The land remained vacant, a chilling reminder of the tragedy that had unfolded. Some say, however, that on a cold night, when the wind whispers through the empty field, you can hear it. A faint scratching sound, a single word, repeating over and over again. Leave.